That morning, the sky was still wrapped in a thin mist, and the air around the circuit carried a mixed scent of gasoline, oil, and morning dew clinging to the asphalt. From afar, the roar of engines began to hum, soft at first, then growing louder as the sun slowly revealed its golden light. Wang Yibo stood at the edge of the pit stop, dressed in his signature black and green racing suit. Behind the helmet still in his hands, his eyes were fixed straight on the track. A sharp gaze, yet behind that silence something stirred. Today was not just a race, it was a test. The tension had already taken hold long before the starting flag was raised. One of his fiercest rivals, a veteran racer known for his aggressive style, stood only a few meters away. They exchanged a brief glance, without a single word, yet it was enough to ignite the fire of competition. The crowd in the stands began to cheer, a rumble mixing with the pounding heartbeat of every racer. But in the midst of the noise, there was a rare sight. In the VIP seats sat a middle-aged woman with a warm smile, Wang Yibo's mother. Not far from her was Xiao Zhan, wrapped in a thick jacket against the biting morning air. His eyes followed Yibo's every movement, and it wasn't the gaze of an ordinary spectator. There was worry there, but also unshakable faith, as if he knew that beneath the helmet and racing suit was a young man fighting not only for victory, but for something much greater. The race began. In a matter of seconds, all the racers shot forward like arrows released from their bows. The roar of the crowd became a distant backdrop, drowned beneath the deafening engines. Yibo started cautiously, never rushing, but staying close behind his opponents. His strategy was clear: wait for the right moment. But the world of racing rarely allows you the luxury of waiting. On the third corner, his strongest rival cut in aggressively, forcing Yibo to the edge of the track. From the stands, Xiao Zhan instinctively stood up, while Yibo's mother gripped her hands tightly, trying to remain composed. They both knew this was far from the first time Yibo had faced such pressure, but seeing it with their own eyes, it felt different. Lap after lap passed. Sweat began to soak Yibo's brow beneath his helmet. His hands clenched the steering wheel with unyielding force, his mind calculating every chance. At such high speeds, a single second could change everything, between victory and defeat, between safety and danger. And in that tension, a memory from his childhood surfaced unexpectedly. He remembered the first time he rode a motorcycle on the village road, his mother watching from a distance because she was too afraid he might fall. He remembered how she would quietly prepare warm water for him every time he returned from training, never saying much, only making sure her son was comfortable. And now, years later, that same woman sat in the stands, watching her son challenge death at speeds most people couldn't even imagine. Then came the unexpected. On the sixth lap, one of the racers lost control, triggering a small incident that briefly halted the track. The safety car came out, offering a moment's pause. Over the team radio, his manager's voice delivered tactical instructions. But that voice faded into the background, because what Yibo truly felt was the unwavering support radiating from his mother's and Xiao Zhan's gaze. When the race resumed, Yibo made his choice. No more playing safe. On the long curve before the straight, he took a nearly impossible risk, cutting through a razor-thin gap to overtake two racers at once. The roar from the stands crashed like a wave. Xiao Zhan even let out a cheer, forgetting entirely about the cameras capturing his every expression. The rest of the race became a fierce duel between Yibo and his greatest rival. Every corner, every sudden break, every burst of acceleration felt like a dangerous dance on the edge of a cliff. And on the final lap, in the last stretch, Yibo was half a car length behind. Those seconds seemed to slow. The engines thundered in his ears, and his eyes locked on the finish line, drawing closer and closer. From somewhere deep inside, a burst of strength surged. Yibo slammed the accelerator, slipping through a gap as narrow as a needle's eye. And he made it. Half a wheel ahead of his rival, he crossed the finish line. The stands erupted into cheers. But Yibo didn't celebrate right away. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the sound wash over his exhaustion. When he stepped out of the car and removed his helmet, his gaze immediately found the stands, his mother smiling warmly, Xiao Zhan giving a thumbs up with eyes glistening. To others, it might have been just another win in the long list of races. But for Yibo, this was proof. That warm support, even when unspoken, could become the greatest strength in the fiercest of rivalries. Yet, behind the roar of victory, one question lingered: if today was a triumph, what awaited him in the next race, when the rivalry could burn even hotter and that support might be tested once again?